Gina. We have to share a mic. It's not going to be good. So, my name is Gretchen McCord. I am with Arclight Cinemas and also with Women in Entertainment. And this is a huge treat because Geena has become a friend, and she's been a huge supporter of Arclight, a huge supporter of Women in Entertainment, and just really steps up and does everything we ask of her and is so generous with her time. So a big treat for you guys tonight to get to see this film before it comes out, and we get to learn a little bit more about what's been going on with you and about the film.
Right, it's so cheerful. I just wanted to really brighten your day.
Well, I have to tell you, I watched the movie last week, and I feel a little invasive to you guys right now because I know, I mean, it stays with you, and you ask yourself a lot of questions, and you change your answer a lot. And so I thought, when we come in here and we start talking about this, just as everyone has seen this movie, trust me, the things you're thinking right now, 3 days from now, you're going to be coming back to it and thinking again. And it's something that was really emotional and really stuck with me. And did it do the same to you filming?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, part of it was very unusual in my experience because it's a little independent movie, and God, I can't remember how fast we shot it, but it was something like 13 days or something. We were doing like 12-page scenes in a day, and it was suddenly over. But it was so like a mood piece, that you really did feel like you were kind of in that.
You had to be exhausted
world.
I mean, emotionally and because of what you were doing.
Right.
So the movie was Play, Pulitzer Prize nominated play, and that's always difficult to bring to the screen.
Right. And the very interesting thing to all of us was Lois Smith was in the play twice, two different versions of it before she made the movie, and then after we finished the movie, a couple of weeks later, she did yet another staged version of it. So it was fascinating to us,
Is it difficult with the dialogue? I mean, they're so dialogue-heavy plays, and I mean, the scenery in the movie is beautiful, but it's very subtle.
Right.
There's not a lot of action. There's not a lot of scenery to take up.
Right.
It's you and the other actors really dialogue.
Yeah, it was, and we shot. That was a real house. We shot everything on location in the house in Montauk on the island, which was very cool. But it was kind of a melancholy little period. It was in the fall, and of course that would have been last year, I think. Yeah.
John Hamm and Tim Robbins executive produced the movie. Did they have a tie with the play that it was so that they really wanted to see it come to the big screen?
No, so the director, Michael, had seen Lois in the play and thought this could be an amazing movie, and he approached her, and it was all launched because of that, of him seeing her in the play and then falling in love with it.
That's amazing. So the emotional part of the play, or of the film, when I first watched the film and seeing what Walter meant to Marjorie and how this, whether we call it an avatar or this AI, brought to her, I thought it was a third party looking at that. That's wonderful, how helpful. And then that shift to you and Marjorie, I mean, I was like, there's no way then, I could interact. I mean, was there a discussion of how personally, everyone's personal opinion about this future we may face?
Well, right. I remember I've been asked if I would want one, and I think I would. I think I would like one of my dad, but he's probably the only person I could picture doing that with. But I mean, if it was really realistic. I don't know.
I know, it's
No.
it's amazing how it shifts your, for me at least, how it shifted my thinking to thinking of it, looking how nice it was for someone else, but then when you
Yeah.
had to answer that question and your reaction,
Right. Right.
Your reaction in the play or the movie is just so
Yeah.
different. So,
Well, right, and I think it's partly too because you see me getting used. You see her where he's been around for a while. He's really good at it, and all that, and she's kind of forgetful, and it makes sense to her. But then you see me introduced to it. I'm very aware of this technology. I didn't love it when she had it, so it's very hard to win me over. Yeah.
Tim's reaction, John's reaction is interesting. I was so for it, recommended it to you, and then him struggling with it personally.
Right, and
It's
realizing
very interesting.
for the first time, oh, it's really weird when it's here.
Right.
Yeah.
It's I think that was something that was very, that was what I was saying that really stuck with me as the days went on of answering this question.
It'd be nice to have your old beloved pet come back, because, that would just be nice, although you want to touch it.
And the being selective of what memories you share.
Right.
Did that come up in
I love that last scene because they learn only part of the truth, and it's what's fascinating about your memory. Things slip away and you never remember them again.
And telling when he is, I forgot, he's explaining to one of them, no, we're not gonna talk about Geena because we don't want to make her sad. And it's like just selectively cutting things out, and then how that would go on for the future is a really interesting concept.
Right, it just gets lost.
The dialogue that continues there. So you've been busy with film, and we know you just finished with everything that's going on in the industry right now and the way things are changing and so much. We just had a huge announcement today about Shonda Rhimes and Netflix. So I always like to ask the question to Exorcist. You just finished NBC, right?
And Fox.
And then the films, obviously. So do you? Is the end game? Does that really come into your mind as you're looking at a project? Where it's going to end up, whether it's going to be, if it's a project that you don't know, it's going to be streaming, or it's going to be a film, or it's going to be on HBO, or a series television, you usually know going in, but where it's going to end up, is that coming into play?
Well, it's actually very interesting because for the longest time, most of my career, I never made an independent movie. I didn't know what that was like, and then I made one maybe about 7 years ago or something, and in Australia, and then it didn't get sold, and I was like, nobody told me that could happen. I could be in a movie and it doesn't come out. Why didn't somebody tell me? And now I have 2 other movies that haven't come out yet. It's very strange. I'm against it. I'm bothered to be in it. I think it should come out. So that's been interesting. I've kind of told my agents, I'm not crazy about this idea anymore, about the independent movies, but I'm really happy with this one. I love how it came out, and it is coming out. And but as far as like where I would want to do something, I don't care really what the medium is. I'm very intrigued by the Netflix, Amazon of it all. I'd love to do something like that. I had a great time doing television series, but I'm not sure I want to do network again, because I just would like to do something a little edgier than you can do. And now that you can do anything you want on cable and on streaming, so I'd love to find something pretty.
And are projects leaving that open when a script or a project comes to your agent, are they kind of leaving that open, like, it may end up on streaming, or it may end up?
No.
Or do they usually have an idea?
Yeah, I think unless I generated it, then there was one idea that I shopped around to different places, and it was that what you're talking about. Should it be FX? Should it be this or that? that's only if you self-generate. Most stuff is they're casting XYZ. Can you be in it, right?
Now, and most of you, or all of you, know Geena as Thelma, as Dottie, as all these wonderful roles. But do you know that she's also a leader in research on gender and media? So I didn't know if there's a few minutes you wanted to share with us of anything that's going on with the Institute.
Yes.
Any new stats that you can share with us?
Yes. So we have a new tool. The most exciting thing we have going on, because all of our work to get more. The initial premise was to get more female characters and better female characters in entertainments that are made for kids, 11 and under, because it turns out that we're showing children incredibly imbalanced worlds from the beginning, from the first things they see, and my strong feeling is that we're teaching kids to have unconscious gender bias. We're showing boys and girls that girls take up far less space than boys. They do far fewer interesting things, and that they're valued mostly for their appearance. And so, wouldn't things dramatically change if we showed kids from the beginning? Boys and girls share the same bodies equally. They do equally interesting things in the 21st century. And it took until I had kids and started watching things with them that I realized, what are we doing? What are we doing? So our work is all based on doing research, and then rather than trying to educate the populace, we go directly to the creators, privately, collegially. Hey, we're your buddies. We did this research. Would you like to know? And it's kind of thrilling work because they didn't know. They absolutely did not know that we're shortchanging kids in that way. They care about kids. That's why they're making kids entertainment. They want to change. And so we know there's a lot of things that we've impacted. But now, because we're all about research, now Google gave us a grant where we were able to develop this new program, like a software program using artificial intelligence and voice recognition and face recognition to do the same kind of work that we were doing with like 60 grad students watching movies and pausing and making notes. Now we can shove in a movie or a TV show or an ad or anything we want, a script, and it'll give us the same information but more information and the kinds of detailed stuff that is not possible with a human eye, because now we can tell you not only how many female characters are there, but how long are they on screen, how much do they talk. And it's the preliminary research that we've done shows that not only are there far fewer female characters, they're only on screen half as much and speak half as much as male characters. So we're just kind of uncovering new ways that women are being shortchanged, but it's powerful stuff, and it's very exciting. We're talking to lots of studios and networks and production companies and people that want to have us, do a benchmark for them, run all of their stuff, look at their upcoming scripts. How can we change that before it's too late? Because what happens to me constantly is I see a movie and I'm like, oh, if only I had talked to them beforehand. Because people, they just don't know it. They don't know they're doing it. If I said, do you realize that you have a scene where there's 100 of these creatures, whatever they are, and they're all male because they're all talking, they would say, oh, why didn't we do that? Let's make it half female. So
you're able to do it at the script level.
And script level, yeah.
So that they can get it. The first, one of the first times, 2 or 3, maybe even 4 years ago, that I sat with Geena and Madeline, we're talking about the very beginning of this, and we talked about the Peanuts movie. And I remember you talked about the Peanuts movie, and it was so eye-opening to me because the little crowd scenes in the Peanuts movie where they're all like almost just little domes of heads and kind of wah wah wah. There's 3 girls, I mean, we know there's only Peppermint Patty and Lucy, you know, the main characters, but even in the crowd scenes when you guys brought that, and that was the old technology, I think, that was still looking at that. And I remember going back and watching it with my daughter and thinking, oh my God, it is. I mean, here's this little drawn crowd scene, and they're all boys. Right. So that's amazing. That can be at script level. And
we'll be able to tell crowd scenes too. The program just instantly can tell who's male and female.
And is that with your partnership with USC?
With the Viterbi School of Engineering, the engineers there helped develop. They had already gotten very far with voice and face recognition, working on like autism things for autism. But now we turned it into this tool.
Oh, it's very exciting. So do you have time for a few questions?
Of course.
Okay, I think we have a few minutes to do a couple questions for the audience.
Right. So you mentioned that you like to get involved in the script level. Obviously, this was already written before you got involved in the play and stuff. I found it interesting that in your concept of gender equality, the women made the male primes like young and attractive, right? Like what you would expect of what men would do to the women is like inverted in a way. I was just wondering if you noticed that in the script when you read it before you got involved, or if you wanted to change anything in the room.
Well, there was just the one instance where Marjorie wanted a younger one.
You had a younger version.
What's that?
There wasn't a younger you, really. Like,
Right.
after you.
No, yeah, he wanted me this. I was the same age as I was.
How you do for you, not for your attractive young self.
He said he valued you for you. And
Yes, that's right.
Still,
That's right.
attractive.
That's right. Well, John Hamm, you wanted to be his self, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, hi. Hi, my name is Zachary South. I'm here on behalf of Mixdown Movies. I saw League of Your Own. I'm a big fan. And my question is, it's about being in a movie based on a play. Because after last year with movies like Fences and Moonlight, it shows that movies based on plays can work. So I'm wondering about. I was asking about this is about performances. Like, what was it? Was it a challenge to, like, play these roles with such subtlety and like as little action as possible?
You know, the big advantage was having Michael, the director, adapt the play, and he worked closely with the playwright, but he changed a lot, and he got the blessing of the playwright to make these changes, and so it was very seamless for us because he had really done all the translating into cinematic language and everything. But he kept a lot of the play. Lois said in the play, she pretty much sat in one chair the entire time. And so, you know, he added a little more action and depth. But, yeah, I mean, it was...
seen the play?
No, I've never seen. I would love to see. She's probably going to do another production of it sometime. So I'll have to catch it next time.
Would you ever consider doing the stage version of the play?
Huh. Well, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Maybe. Supposedly, my character is the most different from the play. That she was a little. She was more abrasive and less sympathetic. I think in the way the play was written. And I think the play was funnier. Lois said, it's not as funny as it was when it was a play. But I don't know. I've never really done plays since college. But I'm saving up my money to support my theater habit. So soon I'll be able to afford to do a play. But it would be weird to do a play. To be honest, if I was going to do a play, I want to do a big, stupid musical. Just something like ridiculous. Because why else? For me, I always knew I wanted to be in movies, not stage.
Are you ready for one more?
Do you think it was unfortunate that it took the AI versions of themselves to come to terms with what happened with Damien, and that telling his story is what, in the end, healed them?
Yeah, she said, do you think it's unfortunate that it took the AI version of all the people to come to terms with Damien and talk about it?
Oh. Yeah, and that's pretty interesting, isn't it? Yeah. I think it's very touching and complicated because as Marjorie loses her memory, she's clear by the beginning of the movie she's forgotten about Damien. That's what she says at one point. I'm thinking of somebody, but I can't remember who it is. It's obviously Damien, and so and Tess doesn't want to remind her, of him. I think she's probably hoping, in a weird way, like now that he's out of the picture, maybe I can finally get that love that I felt he took away. So it's tricky. I don't know. The Damien thing is also sad.
Well, it seems that it's interesting that the dog stayed the stronger memory,
Right.
And
Right.
for Tess and for Marjorie.
And for Marjorie,
And
she
then-
remembered the dog very
right, and then it would be
clearly.
like, oh, and and Damien.
Yeah.
So is it painful and pushed down? But I found
Right.
that very interesting that the dog kept prompting
Right.
the conversation of the singing, the dog, and
Right. Some things are just so painful that maybe you end up not talking about it, and then it's almost like it didn't happen. You try to make your life like it didn't happen, or it's this horrible, twisting thing that is just there, but that you don't ever talk about.
Well, and hearing from John and from Tess that wanting to protect each other, then her bringing it up again. So when why tell them that memory? Because then they'll repeat it, which
Yeah.
Walter did at the end after the two of them didn't know about it.
Yeah.
So I found that was very interesting.
I kind of hope, I worry a little bit about at the end, I hope the power is going to stay on and they get to still, I like them talking to each other. I think it's so nice that they have each other. But somebody's going to unplug the computer or something.
Well, thank you all for being here. And thank you. Tell all your friends to tune in to Marjorie Prime.